Igniting Souls Fellowship, we are here today to talk about 5 essential components to creating your own unforgettable event. Now, we're here at an event right now, and how many of you are here live? Let's hear a clap. I know we have many of our friends also that are on virtually, so thank you for being here as well. And you can go ahead and state in the comments where you're from, and that way we can get to know you a little bit better. There are many different types of events. There are live events like we are having right now, where we have a name tag, and hi, I'm Renee, and I get to meet other people here like Lisa. Like, I got to see her name and I know who she is and got to talk with her and engage. There are also online events, which can be great, but you kind of lose that feel of, personal connectivity and such. I'm going to tell you today about an event that has been amazing for me. The last couple years I've gone is the Igniting Souls Conference. And I know I see many of you in the room here who have been there as well. And it has been something that has really impacted my life. Live events are very impactful, and that's why it's important that you learn how to do them for your business and your ministry, whatever you're doing as well. So what has been impactful about it is the fact that I can walk away with something tangible, something that I can actually implement into my own business and my own life. I can look back at each one of these conference events, and I know for a fact that I have actually done something important with that event. So when I come here monthly, and many of you I see are regular attendees to this Igniting Souls Fellowship, I know also when Carrie speaks on a topic, I'm going to walk away with something that's going to help me in my business and in my life. Anyone else here have that? Yes. Okay, yeah, I see lots of hands up there. So hopefully that's something that you can learn from him today, since he's been doing this and an amazing job at it, so that you can go out and make a difference in your own community, in your tribe, and in your businesses, because live events are powerful. A couple other things that are important about live events are the fact that you have community. And when I go to those conferences, and when I'm here in this room monthly, it's a place for me to grow. A long time ago, I would not have been up here speaking because I was intimidated. But now I'm up here because I've grown. So live events give us an opportunity to do that as well. So without further ado, because I'm not the queen of live events, but we have someone here who is the king of live events, and we'll welcome him up right now, Carrie Overbrunner.
All right, hey, it's great to be here with you guys today. Welcome, welcome. I met some new friends today. If this is your first time ever, raise your hand. Anybody? Lisa, Logan, Monique. All right, I met all 3 of you. Fantastic. Well, we have started over 100 live events in the last 5 years. Can you believe that? Rick, you've probably been to almost every one.
499.
499. So it has been a wild ride, and it's been fun. And I feel like I'm qualified to talk on the topic because I've done live events wrong, okay? You can do live events wrong. There are times where you put in a ton of work, a ton of effort, and you leave the stage and you say, did anything connect? Did anything resonate? Other times you say, dang, I wish I would have said that on stage. Has anyone ever said that? Okay. Or you said when you walked off the stage, what was my offer? No clients have come to me. What was my offer? Has anyone ever done that, right? Where you've done this great talk, you've flown to a city, you've talked, people loved you, and then you never see them again in your life because you didn't motivate your audience to action, and that will be a problem. So welcome. This is the theme, as Renee so eloquently said. We are as well virtually, so thank you so much for joining us virtually. I'd love to hear if you're coming to Igniting Souls Conference. So if you are, just type in hashtag Igniting Souls 17 on the virtual crowd, and we'll see who's all coming. My name's Carrie Overbrunner. For those who are new, you might think this joke is funny. If you're older, you won't think it's funny. But I'm a bald guy with a girl's name, okay, so that's me there. And this is my passion. I had a day job before I started doing this. I had a day job of 12 years, and I was very comfortable. I had 3 kids, I still do, and a wife, and everything was rocking and rolling. And yet I knew that I was only at 80% of my capacity. I knew that there was 20% of me still that had not yet explored this amazing adventure called entrepreneurship. I never grew up as an entrepreneur. That wasn't even on my radar, but I knew God had put some big things in my head and in my heart, and so I needed to go pro. And I did that. And now today I have the wonderful opportunity to share with you guys about how to take your business either as a startup or how to scale it in a much better way. So here's the truth, all right? Tell me if you can identify with this, right? Events done wrong have the potential to punish your business. I chose that word very intentionally. Punish. That's a weird word. Why would I say events done wrong have the potential to punish your business? What do you think? Anybody? What do you guys think that means? A timeout? You need a timeout?
No, they put them in timeout.
They put them in timeout. Oh, they put your business in timeout. That's interesting. I like that. I'd love for the virtual crowd to share what they think as well. Susan?
If you do a bad event, they're going to think you do everything else bad, too.
Interesting. That is interesting. If you have a killer event, they say, wow, this person must be great at health and great at, singing and great at doing taxes, right? Because we kind of judge people on that, don't we? Especially when it's a public thing. If someone does a really good job, we think, wow, success must ooze from them. And if somebody bombs, I love what you just said, we tend to think that as well. But here's the truth. Events done well have the power to propel your business. I hear people all the time. In fact, I was just at a live event here in Columbus about 3 weeks ago, and I heard from the stage, and I hear it all the time, and I'm sick of it. I think it's a myth. I think it's a lie. People say that you always lose money when you do live events. I hear this all the time. Has anybody else heard that before? They've heard that statement. Oh, if you run your own live event, you're going to lose money. If you do it the wrong way, you will. Yeah, if you do it the wrong way, it will be a liability for you. But if you do it the correct way, it will be an asset. How many of you paid to be here today? Raise your hand. David, we forgot to do something. No, I'm kidding. David's my business partner in the back. We let you guys come today for free. Why? Because we know that this is a try before you buy live event. I've had people come to the Ignited Souls Fellowships for years and try before they buy. And that's cool. I don't say, oh, well, there's the person in the corner who never buys. No, I'm happy to share value. In fact, check this out, folks. 70 to 80% of what I teach and give as thought leadership is, guess what? Free. Did you hear that? 70 to 80% of what I do is free. Now, how many of you are clients? Raise your hand real high in the room. Raise your hand real high. Okay. About, 70% of you are clients. How does that work? I'm going to teach you how that works today. And by the way, we have somebody all the way from Alabama. Correct? Mark? Correct. Awesome. So let's give Alabama a clap. Although I'm deeply angered by your college football team. Okay?
I'm an Auburn fan.
Okay, all right. Because gee, it's like, come on, all right. But anyway, if you've ever done your own live event well, you know it can be one of the most rewarding experiences. How many people in the room or online have ever done a live event and they said, wow, that filled my tank? That was amazing. Renee, was it your treasure swap? Treasure swap? Debbie, you as well? Pat, I saw you raise your hand. A lot of people have done live events and they said that filled my tank. I feel like I'm, on an adrenaline rush. It's fantastic. I'll admit, conference is coming in 2 weeks from today. I won't sleep for a lot of days because I'll be so amped that I'll be overamped, right? The result increases your influence, impact, and income. At our live event in 2 weeks, we have people flying from Nigeria. Her name's Mafan. She's coming as an attendee. We have Australians coming. We have people from the UK. We have people from Dublin, Ohio, right? Not Dublin, Ireland. But the point is this. If you've done your own live event wrong, you know it can leave you in a world of pain. It really can. Events are not cheap many times, okay? You have to get sound. You have to get lights, perhaps. You have to get food sometimes. You have to rent the space. Now, guess how much I paid for today's live event? What do you guys think? Zero. Exactly. Zero. All right? So now you're like, okay, cool. I'm glad I didn't pay anything to be here, right? Well, look, in a way, it cost me zero. In a way, right? In a way, we have a whole team of people managing comments. We have David who's filming, okay? We're going to take this content and repurpose it. That's something that you should write down. When you do your next live event, could you actually be repurposing it for another reason? Okay? I don't call this repurpose. Get this, get this. This is very subtle, but this is what successful people do. I pre-purpose my event. Ouch, did you hear that? So I have literally been at events that I was in one in New Jersey last month speaking. The room was not packed, but the gentleman who created the live event said, we are absolutely filming every single session, and every single session is going to be used for multiple things. We're going to strip out the audio and put it on podcast. We're going to bundle it and put it as a DVD set. By the way, if you need a link, disc.com. Actually, here's one that's even better. Good luck spelling it, right? Kanaki. I believe it's K-U-N, Joel let me know, Kunacki.com, something like that. Kanaki.com. You go to Kanaki.com and you give them your raw files. They turn it into a jewel case. They put a UPC on it, barcode. They shrink wrap it, and they drop ship it anywhere for $1. Now, you got to pay for the shipping, but you see what I'm saying? That's the whole process. So you could absolutely do a live event where you pre-purpose. Is that right, Mark? Did I spell it right?
No.
No? What did I spell?
K-U-N-A-K-I.
K-U-N-K.
K-U-N-A-K-I.
K-U-N-A-K-I. Good luck. Come on, people. Why don't you pick an easier name? You know how many people probably search for that wrong? Kanaki.com. There's a ton of places, folks, that I can share with you more and more. But this is called pre-purposing your event. Pre-purposing your event. It means even if you lose money by doing the event, the other things you do with the content allows you to actually make money. You could do a live event that's so fantastic that you then certify people on the content. Ooh, there's one. Teach to a room full of people. Maybe even the room came for free that day. It's your built-in audience. They're excited about it. They're the beta group. And then you take the content and certify people in the future for it. And you say, great, you need to go through this. There's a website I'll tell you about, Thinkific, thinkific.com. You can actually pop your content in there. It's just a few dollars a month, and you can actually track people's progress through your content and say, oh, you want to be certified? No, no, no. You only watched 20%. And then, get this, at the end of your course in Thinkific, they get a certificate. So they legitimately get certified on your content. How many people here already got a great idea? Raise your hand. Anybody got an idea? All right, still got to work on Lisa here in the front. I'm working on it, okay? I'll help her out. How many of you online got something already? All right? I'd love for you guys to share this online as well. If you guys can share this, that would be awesome. Our vision is to ignite 1 million souls by 2020. Erica, let's give everybody a gift who shares, okay? Remind me to share what's called a one sheet. I'm going to give people an example of what's called a one sheet. It's how we plan every live event, okay? So I'm going to give you one of our examples for everybody who shared. Once you do put share, write that down. Write that down in the online group so that we know who to give that to. And you guys can do that as well here if you hop on where I told you to hop on and share it. As someone who's hosted more than 100 live events, I've been on both sides of the equation. David, do you remember our first Your Secret Name event where we charged people like $19 for the whole 2-day event, which included food? I mean, you know what I'm talking about? Wasn't that crazy? What were we thinking?
I have no idea.
You have no idea, exactly. But look where we are now. We have over 100 certified coaches all over the world. I think we're at close to 200 now on Your Secret Name and our other content. It's fantastic, but you got to start. So many times people wait until everything's figured out. You know, we got to have the best cameras, the best lights, this. No, you don't. Pat Gano, do you remember when you were in this very room for our first conference ever?
Absolutely.
Remember that?
Yes.
And now we got the largest room at the Quest Business Center, and we sold out. But we started here. It was pitiful. My sister would run coffee from the bathroom and make coffee, okay? Not toilet water, all right? But she would get water, and we're like, halfway through the conference, we're like, what are people going to do for meals? Oh my gosh, Max and Irma's is down there. Hey, everybody, we plan to have Max and Irma go down there, and that's where you get your lunch, right? I mean, this is true stuff, right? But you have to take action. Clarity comes with action. Oh, you like that? Clarity comes with action. You do not sit in a room artificially and map out everything. Now, you can map out a whole bunch. We have what's called a TikTok. David and I will meet on Monday for a full day. You ready, David? TikTok. Every single minute of every single event we do that is big time, not this event, but big time, we do a TikTok. So we know who's where, what's next, music intro. I mean, it's massive. It takes me a day or two to do a TikTok. But once you have one, then you just dust it off and you put in the new speakers and that type of thing for next year. The last 6 years, we've integrated these components to create a global business with sold-out events that create lasting change in the lives of our attendees. Last month, we sold out of the Igniting Souls Conference that happens on October 21st and 22nd, right near Polaris. And it was fantastic. I mean, it's great. It's great to have a sold-out event. We weren't happy because people were mad that they didn't get in, so we met with the conference director and we said, look, we know we got your biggest room, you gotta help us though. So we reconfigured the whole room, added 20 more seats, sold 11 of those, and now we have 9 tickets left, believe it or not. So if you're liking what you're hearing today and you're here in the room or you're online, I'll share at the end that if you want one of those last 9 tickets, fantastic. So here we go. You're going to discover today the 5 essential components. I'm going to share exactly the 5 components we use when we create our own live events. Number 2, the perfect timing. And here's a little hint, before you're ready. Okay? Some of you are overdue for your own live event. Becky, I'm going to pick on you. Can I pick on you?
Sure.
Becky knows a ton of information. She really does. She's an expert in her subject matter. And you can share later, at the end what that's about. But here's the point. She could have a live event. It doesn't mean it needs to be a big time in the room live event. It could be an online live event. Okay? We often overthink these things, folks. We say, well, I need to get a GoToWebinar. GoToWebinars, I don't know, $199 a month. I mean, how am I going to do that? David and I did Eventbrite. Eventbrite is a free online registration tool tied to social media. It's free. If your event's free, it's free. You can even sell tickets through there. So you don't even need a website. And what you do is you put your event on Eventbrite, and again, if they're going to collect the money, they'll take a fee, of course, but you could do a virtual event all on your topic. And the one sheet, here's a little code, here's a little secret, I'm going to give you some gold here right now. Every single event we create, check this out, we call it a one sheet. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. Every event. Whenever I have an idea, whenever David has an idea, we literally put it through the grid of a one sheet. We say, who's this event for? It forces you to get clear. I tell people all the time, fill in the blank, clarity attracts, confusion repels. Before you sell your ticket, before you create your own live event, you have a one sheet. You say, who's this for? What is it? When is it going to be? Where is it? Why? And usually with why I put several bullet points. And then how. How can people register? How can people sign up? And by the way, don't do that without adding value first. That's a big mistake. I see people all the time say, here's my live event. Cold traffic, cold audience, nobody bought. I'm the problem. No, you're not the problem. You need to give first. How many of you know the Jimmy Dean sausage strategy, right? Costco lady, right? Costco guy. What do? Do they just say, here's Jimmy Dean sausage, buy it, what's your problem? Don't you like it? What do? Sample. You gotta give people a sample. A sample, a free call, a free webinar. Becky, you got a question. Come on up, Becky. Let's get Becky in here. Yeah, all right. I don't always call you up if you have a question, but we are doing a virtual crowd, and so if they hear a voice from behind the camera, they might not even hear it correctly. So what do you got?
Well, in July, I was speaking to you about some of the confusion about getting people into my tribe.
Yes.
And you mentioned the Eventbrite idea.
Yes.
So we took the plunge and we did it this last month.
Okay.
And we scheduled our webinar.
Okay.
And I posted it all over these Facebook groups.
Yeah.
The biggest lead magnet that we have ever done was this Eventbrite thing.
Okay.
It forced us to figure out the technology of the webinar.
Yeah.
Scared to death we had to do our payment processor, all of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But now we feel like it gave us that pat on the back that yes, you can do this.
Awesome.
We recorded it. Now we have an auto webinar.
Very cool.
Now we have a bigger list.
Very
Eventbrite
cool.
was easy to figure out.
Awesome.
And now we're planning our next one for 2 weeks.
Let's give her a hand. Wow. Good job. Very good. I like that. Holy cow. I was so nervous. I thought she was going to say, and then nobody showed. I was like, oh. But no, it worked, right? It worked. And even if it didn't work, what would she have learned? A lot. How to use the technology. Look, sometimes it just means that, maybe she posted to the wrong groups. Maybe she should have asked more people. One of our clients, Deborah Hayes recently, who's certified on the Deeper Path, all she did was took quotes from my book and she put a photo with a quote, and all it said was, "The Deeper Path is coming September 5th. That's it. She didn't put a link. She didn't put, here's how to register. And she kept doing that for about 2 weeks. And people kept saying, I love these quotes. What is the Deeper Path? And you see, now they're leaning in. Rather than, oh, what is Deborah talking about? She keeps spamming me to join her free webinar. Now people are like, that's an interesting quote. That's an interesting picture. By the way, unsplash.com, free pictures, okay? Unsplash.com. You guys hang around us, man. You're going to get a ton of value, okay? If you think this is good, Rick, tell them. Once they become a client, this is just the beginning, right? Awesome. And I hear you're almost done with your book. Or you got your cover process or something. We paid something for you recently.
Yeah, cover's in process. Almost done with the book. Is not quite almost done. I've got a lot.
But I love it. You're on the cover process. That's a big step. Let's give Rick a hand. Yeah. So one of the things we do is we are a publisher. So, I started writing books back when I was 5. No, I'm joking, but almost. My first published book came out when I was 27, I believe. Okay, that's longer than you think. But the point is this, people began saying, how do you write, publish, and market a book? And so we started our own publishing company. Erica, can you share this link, carryoverburner.com/book. So if people are watching online, they want a free webinar about how we write, publish, and market people. It's very different than anything that's out there. It actually gives you the most control, the most profit, the most distribution. Anyway, carryoverburner.com/book, okay? The last thing we're going to give you guys is a proven schedule. In a few minutes, David, I'm going to ask you to share about your session, but that'll be in about 10 minutes. Here's the thing. Here's number one. You ready for number one? Number one, clarity. Number one, clarity. It all starts with clarity. Before we do any live events, I, myself, no joke, have to get in a room by myself without social media, and I have that little anxiety creep up. Anybody? I have that little imposter syndrome pop up that says, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are to create an event? Who do you think is going to come to your event? What, are you kidding? Are you serious? You're bald. You have a girl's name. Right? You used to have an addiction to self-injury, right? Maybe some of you didn't know that, who are new. You used to stutter. You used to have a learning disability. All that stuff creeps up. And that's why most people say, I'll go check Facebook. Right? Is this true? I'll go watch Netflix. Give me the Mountain Dew and potato chips. That sounds better. Right? Let's just be honest. Is this true for us? It's true for me. So the point is that I get in a room quietly by myself. In fact, there's a great quote about that. Joel, can you Google who said this? But it's all of men's evil. This was when it was a patriarchal culture. All of man's evil results from his inability to sit quietly in a room by himself. For if he did, he would be forced with boredom to figure a way out. You like that one? I forget who said it, but you know. Joel will tell me, all of men's... Pascal said that. Pascal said that. See, unplanned. Don't even know where that came from. But here's the point. Pascal said this before TV, before phones, before internet. Pascal said, I look out at my culture and I think that, you know what? Everybody's evil that results is because he or she can't sit in a room quietly by himself and figure things out. Because if they did, they would be bored, and that boredom would drive them to figure a way out. Boredom is your key. Isolation is your key. Not, you know what, I listened to the latest, greatest expert, I downloaded this, 55 people say to do this, 27 say to do this, what should I do? Survey, ask people, come on. Get in a room quietly by yourself and say, what do you want to do? And David and I did this, and we said, you know what, 2017, set fire to your business and brand. That's what the Igniting Souls Conference is going to be. Set fire to your business and brand. And then, just like anything, just like how I write all my books, I say, you know what? I'm going to put pen to paper and start typing. I usually put on a soundtrack, okay? I usually try to get off social media, and I just put on a soundtrack, and I get quiet, and I say, you know what? And I just start writing. And it doesn't come all out perfect at once, but fire is an unstoppable force. It can take life or give it. It can inflict pain or initiate healing. It all depends upon the person wielding it. And by the way, this is all at ignitingsoulsconference.com if you want it. Erica, if you could share the link. At the Igniting Souls Conference, you'll discover how to set fire to your business and brand and increase your influence, impact, and income. Benefit, benefit, benefit. Learn cutting-edge tips and tools and tactics from industry-leading experts getting real-time results. Here's what the imposter says. Well, who are those experts? I don't know. I'm in my room quietly by myself. I don't care right now, right? So many of us get hacked. That's from one of my books, Elixir Project. We get hacked because we say, well, I don't know who those industry-leading experts are going to be. Well, see, I can't do this. No, I say, you know what? I'll figure it out. I love to write these things because to me it's creation. That's what you're doing. Pat, you just finished your book. Congratulations. Let's give Pat a hand. Yeah. Pat defies self-limiting beliefs. Seriously. She had a desire to write a book, and she said, by golly, in my 80s, I'm going to actually do this thing. And you know what? You probably had haters. You probably had people say, well, that's a great idea, Pat, but whatever. And now you actually have it shipping to you in the mail. That's crazy. And you're going to stand on stage in 2 weeks and share. I love it. Fantastic. She created. This is what you do when you are creating a live event. In a way, you are a co-creator. And it's fantastic. By the way, Joel, trivia question. I think you'll get it right. How many times have I had the Igniting Souls 2017 conference already?
Probably a million times.
Probably a million times? You're right. Probably a million times. He at first held up twice, which means we talk about first creation and second creation in my book, Elixir Project. Erica, I don't know, I'm just firing off URLs today, but give everybody a free copy of Elixir Project. Just have them pay for shipping. But it's what is it, David? Elixir.carryoverrunner.com, something like that. Elixir.carryoverrunner.com. If you're in the room, you can get one too. But just write that down. That's where you can get your free book. But I talk about first creation and second creation. Anytime you have an idea, you've already created it. Every single thing in this room, the camera, was created twice. The projector was created twice. Once as an idea, and second in physical form. Mental form, physical form. I created, when I sit quietly in a room by myself, I create the conference in my head first. And then Joel's right, I probably revisit it a bunch of times. I've been replaying it a bunch of times in my head. And what happens, get this, I gotta quote a guy, I'll think of his name here in a little bit, but he's with Strategic Coach, okay, Strategic Coach. But here's the point, here's what he says. He says that all the obstacles that come up in your head are actually your to-do list. Did you catch that? Anytime you have a really big thing that you need to do, all the little obstacles you think about, get out your piece of paper, because that's your to-do list. In other words, well, Carrie, you don't know any industry-leading experts that have said they're coming yet. Action step number 1, talk to industry-leading experts and get them to come. Guess who's coming? Brian Dixon, Mike Kim, David Branderhorst, Dean Folks, Amy Schmidhauer, Dexter Godfrey. It happens. Your next thing, connect and collaborate with a global community of authors, speakers, coaches, and entrepreneurs committed to your success. You guys know that in the Igniting Souls tribe, that's what we already have built in. Discover the clarity and courage you crave to craft an action-oriented plan that achieves your ultimate dream. Our events are so non-hype-y. How many people have ever been to an event, you've walked away and said, I don't even know what they taught, but we danced a lot? Anybody? You know, or I don't know what they taught, but the guy on the stage said the F-bomb, 35 times, right? I don't know what we learned. All of our events are built and based on action-oriented. We create a manual that's usually 90 pages long, and it's full of action steps that on Monday you can implement. All of our events, people say sometimes, well, gee, your events sometimes are expensive. Really? Expensive for what? They actually are free because they're going to teach you how to 10x what you're currently doing. And if you say, well, I'm at 0, that's okay. We'll show you how to actually get some money. So all of our events pay for themselves. In fact, we believe it so much that I have a guarantee for our live events that says if by the first day, 5 p.m., you have not gotten 10x your return, we'll write you a check for the full amount, shake your hand, you hand in your manual, and enjoy your check. That's confidence in your live event, okay? Let's go to the next one. Number 2, content. Number 2, content. You need to give people content. Sometimes I see people advertising their live events. I have no clue what I'm going to learn. I have no clue about the benefit. I have no clue about the transformation. It's just like, here's our live event. Here's our logo. Here's a cool name. Here's how much you pay us. What am I learning? So what we do is we purposely choose skill-based experts who are going to transfer a certain skill to each person. Those are the types of events that light me up. Not where, oh, you're going to hear this great inspirational talk and you're going to be touched in your heart and you know what? You're going to be a better person for being there. Turn on Oprah. She does a better job than we do at that. What we want is, here's an expert who's going to teach you X, Y, Z, A, B, C. Here's what you're going to walk away with. Is this catching everybody? Anybody have a question so far? Burning question. Okay, what about online? Where are people from? Have we asked them to put where they're from yet? What do we got?
We've got Maine.
Maine.
We've got Ohio. We've got Canada.
Awesome. I love it. That's great. That's great. Great. And we got Alabama in the house. And Ohio State better beat them when they play them. Right? All right. All right, so here's the point. I'm going to teach you guys really quick what our sessions are. And don't just be like, oh, that's nice, that's nice, that's nice. Watch how I write these. Folks, there's an education on the board right now. Watch how I write these. And if you actually want this, go to Igniting Souls Conference afterwards. But notice, do you see the branding? What's in the background of the text? A person? Fire? Do you see the branding? You don't want to have this, and then my next slide is an apple, you know, and then there's a banana, right? And then I have a lawnmower. Folks, clarity attracts, confusion repels. Everything that you're about to see, just watch. Watch on a second level. Okay? Do the colors match? What if Verizon was Green Bay Packer green and gold on their website? What would you think? What? Doesn't match? What's wrong? Did somebody hack the website? Right? We all do this. What if McDonald's flipped their arches upside down and it was W now? What would you think?
What a bird.
Right? See, you guys are a brand. You guys are a business. So what you need to realize is that all of this relates. And I'm not saying, well, sit down and, you know, pick out your color scheme and this and this. I'm just saying, as you get further down the track, realize that everything is brand oriented. All right? In this session, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with the first session, and I'm going to teach all about how you have a creation story. You absolutely have a creation story, and whether you choose to use it or not will actually attract or repel clients. Okay? You might say, what are you talking about, Carrie? What are you talking about? Somebody tell me Jeff Bezos' creation story. Anybody? He dropped from another planet? Maybe? No? What happened? Where did it start? Where did Amazon start? Anybody? Does anybody know where Amazon started? Take a guess.
Yeah.
Well, that might be true.
In his garage.
In his garage. That's what I meant. You were thinking you were thinking too granular, man. In his garage. You win a prize. Look. McDonald's. Talk to me about McDonald's. Ray Kroc. What did Ray Kroc do?
Bought from the McDonald's brothers.
Bought the McDonald's brothers. Does anyone know what Ray Kroc did?
Shakes.
Shakes. You guys know these things. And I could name brand after brand after brand, and the really good brands have sticky stories. All right? How many people know Oprah's story? Did she arise from, you know, royalty?
She was fired as a reporter.
She was fired as a reporter? Did she grow up in a really wealthy home that had a stable mom and dad? No. See, we know these stories, and they've actually leveraged them as part of their mythology. You catch that? Part of their mythology. And yet you might say, well, gee, well, I just came, you know, from Wisconsin, true story, and what elements did I share in my creation story 10 minutes ago that some of you might have caught, some of you might have missed it? What did I teach about my creation story? What did I say? I had another career first. I struggled with self-injury. Stuttered. Girl's name, bald guy, right? In other words, what I've done, it doesn't matter who I'm talking to, kids, adults, entrepreneurs, faith-based people, I'm able to take elements of my creation story and weave it in a way that affects people. I taught one time in a business community all about self-injury. You might say, what in the world? How would you do that? Because only 15% of the population self-injures, and 4 to 15%. How could you relate to business people? You know what I said? I used a blade to self-injure. Most likely you in the room are self-injuring through self-limiting beliefs. Ouch. You see what I'm saying? You can take once you're in this session, I'm going to teach you how to take all these components, and I'm going to teach you how to weave them in. Susan, come on up. I know I picked on you last time. I got to pick on you again. Come on up, Susan. Awesome. I used to be Susan's pastor. Can you believe that about one of them, right? Susan, right. You look very different than when I was your pastor.
Yeah.
Right?
Very much.
All right, so tell us your quick creation story.
Well, about 3 years ago, I weighed over 300 pounds. And so for me, it was a whole lifestyle, and not just the outside, but much more on the inside. And I've gone from working a full-time career, and now I'm helping others So as a health coach, get their health goals too.
Awesome. You like this? So 3 years ago, you were, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, were you selling ads or tickets?
Yep, I was at tickets.
You were selling tickets to functions. That's not bad. That's a nice way to make a living, but you weren't feeling truly fulfilled. Safe, comfortable.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was single, needed health care, needed an income.
Yeah. All the excuses, right? And now today, I see her Facebook all the time, and it's not spam. It's here's someone who was before, and here's someone after, and here's the transformation they made. And you're the living product. You're the living brand. Isn't that cool? Creation story? Let's give her a hand. Awesome. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't mean, and by the way, if you're thinking, well, gee, I got to be perfect, you know, like Susan, write this down, right? Write this down. Sage, fill in the blank if you know this mini teaching of mine. Sage, Sherpa, struggler. Sage, Sherpa, struggler. Every single one of those is successful if you brand yourself the right way. In other words, you can brand yourself as a sage. Tony Robbins, Oprah Winfrey, you can be the sage. You can be the Sherpa who says, you know what, I used to be stuck, and you know what, I followed this framework. Framework is just a solution broken down into simple steps. That's how every nonfiction book should be. A framework is a solution broken down into simple steps. That's where the money is in online business, in online education. A framework is a solution broken down into simple steps. So what you do as a Sherpa is you say, you know what, I struggled with this. I can relate. It was painful. I found a shortcut up the mountain. Let me show you the way. I'll show you and it will save you time and money. A struggler like Donald Miller, Blue Light Jazz, there's been a ton of strugglers out there who say, you know what, I can't figure this thing out. I'm going to be bold enough to take off the mask and say that there's a problem, and I'm going to identify the problem, and I'm going to go fix it, and if you want to come with me, let's fix it together. And I'll be kind of the tribe leader guide. There's a ton of businesses, brands that are like that, where it's like, you know what, I don't ever everything figured out. Come with me, we'll learn together. You can be a struggler and successful. You can be a Sherpa and successful. You can be a sage and successful. Where you can't be successful is if you are a struggler and you say you're a sage. You will get lit up online. People will find out and they will say you are a fake. You're struggling. You're telling me you got this all figured out. We Googled you and we found it out, and you're not a sage. But if you are actually like, you know what, I don't have everything figured out. How many of you follow an online blogger, a podcast, a thought leader, someone who kind of says, I don't have all my stuff together and I'm working on it? You're shaking your head. Wow, look at the hands just flew up. They're a struggler and they're actually monetizing it and making money. So don't give me this, well, you know, I don't have 10 years of success. You don't need 10 years of success. Come to the conference, we'll show you how to monetize it, all right? Mike Kim, fantastic guy. He's going to teach all about how to write marketing copy that sells like wildfire. Anyone ever read an email that says, oh my gosh, is this email just for me? This person wrote this email, is this just for me? And really you're on a group of 100,000 people that got that email, but you're like, how did they read my mail, right? How is that? It's called marketing copy. It's not spammy, it's not salesy, it's actually quite authentic. But there's certain things that you do, certain techniques. How many get my emails? Anybody in this? What are some things I do with my emails, even in the subject line? I know this is technical. Do I use all caps?
No.
What do I do?
Sometimes put my name.
Sometimes put your name? What else do I do?
Engaging either question or something. That's
Question. I, on purpose, use lowercase. Who uses lowercase when they chat with people? Texting, Facebook, friends. There's that little, it's not a trick, folks. All this is saying is, I don't want to be a corporate email. that says, you know, Bed Bath & Beyond, 37% off this weekend, come in. No one wants to be screaming and shouting. You want someone who's going to help you. At the conference, do you know Mike gets paid $20,000 for a 2-day gig in corporations? He doesn't even work with corporations unless they make $1 million in their business. Mike's coming. Mike is going to give you gold. This is why I'm saying the Igniting Souls Conference actually pays for itself, right? Mike teaches this. It's fantastic. Where your treasure is, so is your heart. Translation in the business world. If people don't invest their money in your programs or services, they won't invest their hearts either. So many people are like, well, how can I ask people for money? If you don't ask people for money in the right way, they're actually not going to experience transformation because their heart's not in the process. Does this make sense? What did your parents tell you as a kid? Don't talk to, don't ask people for, whoa, hold on. Whoa. Don't talk to, don't ask people for money, advice, direction. Money. And yet, now you're an entrepreneur. Go talk to, go ask people for, is there a problem? You've been hardwired to fail as an entrepreneur, not because your parents were bad or your guardians. They wanted to caution you. They wanted to keep you safe. And now you're in the online business world, and unless you understand this session, guess what? You're probably going to freak out subconsciously when you ask people for money or when you ask people for to talk to strangers. How to create your first product. In Brian's session, even if you don't have a website, you will walk away with 4 products you can create in 4 hours. 4 products you can create in 4 hours. Brian helps so many names that I could drop optimize their businesses and take their business to the next level. Rick, you know some of the people he works with? Pretty big stuff. Brian's going to be in our session, and he's going to teach. Here's what he says. Brian says, I love this. He says, right now, if I had a paying customer who wanted to give you money, could they go online and pay you somehow? And most of the people are like, oh, crap, or another word. Okay? Because Brian's like, hey, I have somebody who wants to pay you money. Do they have a place that they can pay you? Do you have a medium? Do you have a funnel? And for most people, the answer is absolutely no. No wonder why you're not making money in your online business. True? It's not going to magically evaporate over to your bank account. You don't have a process. David is going to be unveiling something at the conference that he has been working on. I've been helping him work on it. It's amazing. It is going to help so many people, and we're going to share it with people in the room. David, come on up. Let's give David a hand. All right. So when I met David back in 2010, I had just released Your Secret Name. I didn't even release it yet. It wasn't even out yet. I won't go into that story because it's a long story. Some of you have already heard it. But you were a former bank analyst, stay-at-home dad, and I was a pastor. And now today we have a global business that's reaching all kinds of people. It happened because of some of what you're going to be teaching. But talk about your session.
Sure. One of the things I know is that lots of people have ideas of what they want to share, what they want to do, things that are on their heart, businesses that they want to build, things that they want to get out into the world. And they know they have a great idea, but when they put it out there, they just don't seem to get any action, or they're getting minimal action. Certainly not enough business to actually make it work on a full-time level, or getting things to really flow at a level that's really going to make the business run. A lot of the reason for that is all coming down to the offer that you're making to people when you're putting your product or service out there. You need to put it out there in such a way that people are going to look at this and say, there is absolutely no way I should not do this. This is crazy to not do it. People who are successful at business are people who have learned how to make an offer. What you're going to have to understand, what we'll teach you, is your product and service is not your offer. Now, it may sound a little counterintuitive, but what you have to understand is it's a piece, it's an element, but it is not what you're offering. Okay? We're going to go through the process and we're going to show you that there are elements, there are things, there are rules that you need to follow when you create an offer. There are things that you need to do to engage people, to bring them through this process, through this journey, to connect with them so that they will get what you're offering, so that they will know why they should follow and do what you're asking them to do, which is buy your product or service. Now, this is one of those things. There's many things that you can do in your business. You can change headline colors on your website. You can tweak this or tweak that. Those things will get you maybe a 10% increase in action here or a 15% increase there. This isn't one of those things. This is one of those levers that if you pull this lever, this is a 200 to 300% lever. This is one of the big ones, okay? You get this figured out, you can get a 200 to 300% difference. All of a sudden, people that are coming, looking at your offer, are now moving and buying instead of just looking at it saying, oh, okay, and moving on. You start doing these things correctly, you start following the rules, you start following the path, everything changes and all of a sudden you're getting a dramatic increase in difference in your business. So at the conference, we're going to go through that. We are going to outline what that looks like, what are the elements, what do you need to do. You'll have a worksheet that you can go through that you can take with you, and you'll know exactly what it is that when you're crafting your offers, these are my elements. This is what I need to have, this is what I need to consider, and this is what I need to be going through so that when I put my things out there, I know that I'm hitting the buttons that I need to hit.
Awesome.
Okay?
All right. Good stuff. How many of you think that a ton of people pay their taxes in March? What do you think? I hear it quiet, right? Chuckles. How many people think that most people pay their taxes what day? April 14th, right? There's a piece of that David's going to teach. Why does the IRS give you an offer you can't resist, which is pay on April 15th, right? Urgency. There's an element called urgency. David has a fantastic, you actually have a checklist, and I've seen it, where people in their next product or service launch, it's a grid, and they basically say, oop, forgot that, got to include that, check this, and it's a checklist for your thing. I love it. By the way, for you guys who are going to create your own live event, guess who wrote this? Who do you think wrote this? Brian? Who do you think wrote that? Mike? Guess what?
You.
It was me. I take on the full role of conference director. Absolutely. Brian can teach a bunch of really good things. He can. He's that good. Mike can teach a bunch of really good things. And you know what? I sure sent that to them after and said, you know, this is what I'm thinking. Do you have any words you want to tweak? But you are the one who's casting the vision. Have you ever been to a conference and it feels like a whole disjointed mess? And nothing built upon the other person? It's just like random speaker. This guy's talking about, you know, his divorce. The next lady's talking about how to grow chia pets, right? The guy on next is talking about how to make your own cardboard boxes out of dirt. I don't know where I'm getting this. But you see what I'm saying, right? It's disjointed. It feels disjointed. Every single person is slated in the slot that they are for a reason. Why would I not put Brian first? Welcome to the conference. Here's how to create your own products. What do you think? Why do I not have that? How to create your own your first product, the first session. Remember what the first session was? How to creation story. Because you're going to take your creation story, you're going to write sales copy around it, you're going to create your product, then David's going to teach you how to put it into an offer. You see where this is going? And then guess what happens next? Dean is going to talk about how to overcome your adversaries. And guess what the worst adversary is? What do you think? Kathy's raising her hand. Kathy's the worst adversary. No, it's ourselves. I knew she knew that. It's ourselves. So now that you actually have your irresistible offer, now comes in the 2 most common self-limiting beliefs. You ready for it? Write this down. I know you got them. I got these too. I am not enough. I don't have enough. I am not enough. I don't have enough. We often tell ourselves 2 stories that are 2 self-limiting beliefs. I am not enough. Identity. You get attacked at your identity. That's why you need to read Your Secret Name, that book. And then you say, I don't have enough, which goes after your resources. So you always get attacked with your identity and your resources. I'm not enough. I don't have enough education, right? I don't have enough followers. I don't have enough wisdom. I don't have enough experience. This is what happens. So then Dean's going to slap you upside the head and say, actually, you do. You are. And he's going to give you practical tools so that you can overcome your adversaries. Then, the next morning, and I didn't even mention we're going to have gold medalist and world champion Kyle Snyder there, who's literally the best wrestler in the world. He's going to share his creation story. We'll have the NCAA national champion coach, Tom Ryan. How many of you have ever heard Tom Ryan talk? Anybody? Amazing story. He's going to share his creation story. I'm going to tell you guys how this isn't just for business, how it's for athletes, how it's for homemakers. Your creation story is the bedrock of your business. Then in this session, I'm going to basically bring up amazing people. I'm not going to announce who they are. One might be in the room. I'm not going to say. But these 3 people are going to come up, and they're going to say, 3 years ago I was here, and I followed these steps. 2 years ago I was here, and I did this. 1 year ago, kind of like what Becky, except we're going to unpack it. And we're going to say, what exactly, when did you feel like giving up? What did you do different? What did you tweak? And you're going to have an opportunity to ask them questions on a panel so that someone who's just a few steps further than you can share with you what they did. Dexter Godfrey, amazing. How many of you love Dexter? Let's hear a woot woot. All right. Dexter is amazing. He's going to teach you how, when you're on stage next time, how can you ignite your audience to action? Very important. If you cannot do that, people will be butts in the chair and they won't move and they won't engage with you. And you've wasted your time. You've given them a nice talk and that's it. Then Amy Schmidauer, amazing. She's one of our authors. She's still a #1 bestseller. Tony Robbins called her the other day, teach my people how to do vlogging. She's in Inc. magazine. She's all over the place. How many of you heard Amy speak and you know she's got it going on, right? She's going to teach you how to vlog. Vlog is V-L-O-G. It's your video. Today, social media is rewarding video posts much more than text. And she's going to tell you how she did not like video. She fell into it by accident. She didn't grow up as a vlogger. And she's going to share with you how you can use video in your own business. It's called your phone. You actually have your vlog tool everywhere you go, probably within 15 feet of you. So why aren't you using it strategically in your business? How many of you have ever seen one of my videos online? Like right when I'm done exercising and I give this thought of the day. Okay? We've had about 250,000 people watch those. Crazy. And it just happened one day after I was working out. I'm like, I saw a cool sunrise, here's a thought. And then I kind of found my voice vlogging. And again, I'm bald, girl's name, okay? Come on, you can do it too, all right? Community. Your live event needs to have community. Have you ever gone to a live event and nobody really talked to you? Anybody? And you could have not been there and you wouldn't have been missed. Right? You're laughing. Do you know about this?
I'm laughing because I go to live events and I can't not talk to people.
You can't not talk to people. Let's be honest. We're going to have an introvert anonymous here. How many of us are introverts in the room? Okay? So, all right. Oh, you are too. Okay. But people talk to you anyway. All right. We'll make you a sign that says, don't talk to me. I'm an introvert. I'm kidding. But we have community. We know we could put more people in the room if we sat people theater style. We know that. The conference people have told us Carrie, you could add, another 100 people if you just put people in rows. And we're like, no, we will not do that. Why? How many of you have had an amazing conversation with somebody at an Igniting Souls conference because you were facing each other? Renee?
Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic. Rick?
Oh, yeah.
Joel?
Yep.
Kathy? Pat? Erica? Community. The show is not on the stage, the show's actually at your seats. David's session, he's going to not just present information, he's going to actually help you guys work through it. We have an online business. Here's, Amy from Australia, Renee, you're there, people from all over. We run things every week with people online. My wife says sometimes, because I love her to death, she says, wouldn't it be a lot less effort if you guys didn't have a conference? It's a lot of work. I mean, it's a lot of money to invest that, all that stuff. Yes, but every time we do an Igniting Souls conference, we know the tribe goes deeper. If you do not have a physical live event and you want to build a tribe, a group of people that share a common vision, you need a live event. I love some of our first moments at conference. People go up to each other and they're like, oh my gosh, it's you. I know you from Facebook. Oh my gosh, we're friends. Right? Is this true or not? It's funny, but it's true. Because people have an online friendship already, a lot of people. Some people are just brand new. They walk in, I love this. You drug Mark there 1 year.
Yes.
Okay, we have this. We have like the resistant spouse or partner stance. And I can see these people when they register. They're like, oh my gosh, why am I here? By the end, Mark was on stage. Is this true? Mark was on stage saying, oh my gosh, I came here. I had no desire to even be here. And I just saw you guys wheeling an airplane.
Yes.
So his dream actually came true.
Last night at...
Come on up, Kathy. Come on up. Yeah, let's give Kathy a hand. Because Mark stood on stage 2 years ago and said something about an airplane, and I got this hobby and I'm thinking about it, and now watch out for that, because that's like hanging there. Then on Facebook I see you, yesterday, and you're hauling an airplane from a trailer or something? Is this true?
Yes, yes.
So it happened?
He found this airplane in Tennessee.
Okay.
So we had just gotten back from a vacation.
Okay.
He jumped in we have 3. This will be airplane number 4.
Wow.
He jumped into a little airplane and flew down and saw it and loved it and bought it, and then he flew back, and then he immediately got in his truck and drove down and loaded it all up on a trailer and drove it back. And last night at midnight, I was out in the driveway.
At midnight.
It's okay.
And your neighbors were like, those are the crazy neighbors with 4 airplanes. What are they doing?
We actually have an airplane in our driveway.
Okay. All right. I love it. But you turned your dream into reality with your guest house, because you were safe, secure with beautician and beauty salons and all this stuff, and you had something tugging.
Well, it's more than that.
Yeah.
I was doing, and Debbie knows this, I was doing a 60-hour work week.
Okay.
I was sitting at a nail table, doing nails, no breaks for lunch, no bathroom breaks, 60 hours a week.
Your income was fixed because you're getting paid per hour.
I had to work more, I had to do more nails to get more money. And you had said at one of these events, dream recovery.
Not dream discovery.
Not dream discovery. And I had always wanted to have a bed and breakfast guest house. So I went home and told Mark, I said, we're going to do it. Mark says, we're going to do what? I said, you have airplanes. I have the guest house. So now we've had folks, we've been in business 10 months.
Awesome.
We've had folks from around the world, from Russia, from the Ukraine, from India.
Love it. Love it.
All over. Debbie's met some of the folks.
And now you're turning this into a second business about how to start your own bed and breakfast business, because other people are coming to you and saying, you're on fire, how are you doing this? So now the scalability of this is like astronomical.
So I'm working on an ebook called While I Sleep.
Okay.
And the book is about how to start your own bed and breakfast in your house, because I started to build some real estate as a retirement. Yeah. So this is a perfect segue for me, because a bed and breakfast in your house, you have the same roof you're already paying for. You have the furnace you're already maintaining. And so it's total 100%
Yeah,
income.
and that's a hot business right now,
Yes.
with Airbnb and all that.
Yes.
Let's give her a hand. Awesome. All right, good stuff. We got just a few more minutes. Community. I mean, community happens. Community happens at our conferences, at our events. It's fantastic. We actually have to tell people, like, okay, we're starting again, come back from break, you know, because people love it so much. In fact, and we get crazy. We get wild and crazy. I would never wear pants like that, but I respect him so much for wearing this, okay? My wife would not let me wear this. I love this picture with Pat. There's Pat. There's Pat. And we do silly pictures and stuff. We have fun. It's an event that's fun. It's memorable. It's fantastic. People get results. That's why I do live events. That's why David works so hard. That's why Erica and Emily and all of our staff, because of things like this. Brian says, right? What does he say? It's too much, but through constant prayer and, you know, carrying the tribe's help, and David, I've gone to serve people, I've signed multiple coaching clients, given a TED Talk, joined the National Speakers Association, taken the leadership role as president of Toastmasters, spoken for thousands of dollars, published and launched a book, and to top it off, I'll be running in my first half marathon in 3 weeks. Wow, I mean, like, holy cow. These are the results that we want and need. And here's the little trick. Here's what I'm going to tell you. 6 years ago, I was the scared pastor in a room saying, I think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but there's more. You today could be holding the Brian's back of the world, the Kathy's back of the world. Does this make sense? My fear back 6 years ago was stopping all of this. And that's what you need to realize. It's not just you and your journey. It's the thousands of people behind you that need you to step up today so that they can be set free. Does this make sense? Awesome. Cardiff, you know, I mean, I could just go on and on with, you know, here's just some of our six-figure authors. If you want to actually see them speak, hear their story, authoracademyelite.com/our-authors, Melissa, Mary, Derek. The point is this, like, our people are getting results. And I love it. I love it. Number 4, change. So what are the first C's? Number 1? Clarity. Number 2? Content. Number 3? Community. Number 4? Change. If you say, well, we're going to have a live event and people are going to walk through the door and then they're going to leave the door at the end, the same exact person. That's where you fold up your live event and say, I'm not going to do it. Why would you go through the work of creating a live event and not change people's lives? You see what I'm saying? So that's on you. That's on you as the conference director. I don't care if they come in as a smoker and they leave, you know, smoke-free, whatever. Whatever your thing is. They come in a victim of sex trafficking and they leave a renewed person with hope. Whatever it is, you need to define it. You can't just say, well, you know, I hope people get change. Here's what I did. You ready? You ready for this? I sat down and said, here's the change I want people to happen. Number 1, they're going to feel the fire. Number 2, they're going to see the fire. And number 3, they're going to be the fire. I'll tell you what that means in a moment. This is all in the room quietly by myself. Does this make sense? This is before I call Dexter and say, hey, buddy, can you speak? This is me in a room quietly by myself. It must have been an epic soundtrack, let me tell you. I don't put words on, I put music, and I just, sometimes I play the same song, no joke, 50 times straight. I'm not even kidding. I think there's something to that, where I just keep rolling, keep going, keep going, keep going. Dark chocolates nearby, okay? Anybody say amen? Dark chocolates, all right? All right? And I mean, you just get to a spot where you're not bugged, you shut your phone off, and you get quiet. So here's what we did. By the way, Abby picks these photos, and we have a great team. But I said, you know what? Feel the fire. And then I said, this is what feel the fire means. Feel the fire means that in the beginning, all we see is ourselves. Kathy painting nails. Carrie in the pastor's office. Susan selling eye tickets. Right? In the beginning, all you see is you. but then we feel the heat from our own fiery trials, the majority stays here forever. True? Oh, I could never do that. I could never be that. It's too safe. It's too comfortable. The blankets feel good. I'll just pull the covers over my head and live in the Shire the rest of my life. No. The majority stays here forever, but our breakthrough is just on the other side of awareness when we realize that the obstacle is the way. Marcus Aurelius said that. The obstacle is the way. The pain that you feel right now, you move through that, and that is the way. You don't go around the obstacle is the way. Does this make sense? Then you move to see the fire. Love it. See the fire. This is what the whole conference is built on. You're going to walk in the room and you're going to feel the fire, and you're going to just say, oh my gosh, I don't have enough clients. Oh my gosh, I don't have enough clarity. And you're going to start suddenly seeing halfway through the conference, whoa, looking outward, I now see other people. I see other people in need. Their struggle feels strangely familiar. My former pain will be their future cure. Who's writing this, by the way? Me. It's your job. You are the CEO of a cool little company called YOU. Right? To quote my friend Chet Scott. With courage and clarity, we do deep work so we can create deep impact. Cool? Now you be the fire. So what do you first do? You first feel it. Oh, this feels hot. I'm getting burned. Then you see it. Oh my gosh, it's burning other people. Then you say, you know what? Remember, fire's good and evil. Fire can heat a home, and fire can burn down a building, right? Fire is neutral. So it depends how it's being used. But now you be the fire. You say, you know what? I'm going to leverage my hurts into a helpful framework. I'm going to open a new way in a new world through serving and storytelling. What do you know? What do I teach serving is? What is serving? Selling. What is storytelling? Marketing. You get that? You see what I'm saying? You might say, well, that's nice, Carrie. Where's the money? Right here. Through serving is selling, and storytelling, marketing, people embrace the solution and experience success. As we show up, build up, we set fire to our business and brand. I just had the conference in my head. Right? Give me a dark chocolate. Boom. Right? Then we go create it a second time. By the way, all this is at ignitingsoulsconference.com. If you guys want this, okay? What did I just take you through, by the way, that 3-step process? It's called an F word, not the F word. What is it called? Framework. Framework, yeah. Framework is a solution broken out into simple steps. That's what I built the whole conference around, a framework. Okay? Call to action. Call to action. David and I, the final session, we have a 365-day plan that we're going to share with you so that it wasn't just, oh, that was a good event. I wish I could go back. No. So that it is a system. It is a process. In the last session, we're going to pull back the curtain and say, here's what we've been working on the last 12 months, and it's available to you. And we're going to share exactly what that is. Okay? We now have less than 10 tickets. I believe a guy named Michael bought one last night or something like that. Eric, I think you announced him. Yes. Michael did? Okay. So, I mean, when I say we're down, like, we are down. Like, I printed 10 forms, and I need to take one away. Okay? So, who wants to look through one? Anybody? I'm just going to give them to Lisa. Lisa, if you can pass them around. A bunch of you have already signed up. Online, I'm going to invite you the same way. I know what you're thinking online. Some of you are saying, I live in Texas. I live in Portland. I live in the UK. Are you serious? And listen, David, you know, we don't record the conference. We don't sell the conference. Why? Because if we did, the magic would not happen in the room. We would be, just like an NFL game, we would be worried about camera 1, camera 2, are we ready? Okay. Transition, Mike. No, we focus on you in the room. Plus, if you're not in the room, you do not get the benefit of the community, which is so important. So this is legit. 2 weeks from today, why not be spontaneous? Why not make it happen? The cost is $477. So it's $120 off at the door. If we even have one left, it'll be $5.97. I get it. There's an investment. For you who are here locally, you got a lady who booked a flight from Nigeria, from Australia, okay? You live in Hilliard, all right? So, or whatever. So do some serious thought, do some serious prayer, but hotel rates are cheap if you need a hotel. A lot of people room together because they're just like, you know what? Let's split the room. 4 meals are included, breakfasts and lunches, and I put a guarantee. If you do not get 10X by 5 p.m. Saturday, we'll give you your money back, hand you the manual, and say, hey, enjoy Columbus for a day, okay? So I'm going to move into questions. That's the ironclad guarantee that we want to put on the conference, and we do mean that. We'll still be friends. We will not badmouth you. If it's not serving you and filling your tank, I don't want you in the room. Seriously. Here's what I know to kind of wrap this whole thing up. Great quote. Again, patriarchal society, but people are anxious to improve their circumstances. Just look on Facebook. How many people are ready to improve their circumstances? Everybody. Very few people are willing to improve themselves, and therefore they remain bound. Why? Because I can't control what happens with the kneeling at NFL games directly. I can't control whether the NRA passes a certain petition or not. And everybody wants to get all crazy about that stuff, and then when you look in the mirror and say, here's a path to go from Kathy stuck in her day job to living her dream, here's a path for Mark, here's a path for Rick, here's a path for Joel, for Renee, for Pat. I can't start naming names, otherwise I'll name everybody in the room. But it works. Debbie, Erica, it works. But Jeff, you need to take a step. You need to take a step. That is the one thing you can control. I'm going to do Q&A. Q&A from the crowd, Q&A from the virtual crowd. I purposely ended 10 minutes earlier so that I can give you the best stuff right now, which is, what are your questions? What do you want to ask about anything I've talked about today? It could be about your personal business. Erica, if you can get some questions too from the crowd. Now's your chance, folks. Some of you are saying, I wish so-and-so were here today. They need to hear this. Tag them. Tag them, share this. Our goal is to ignite 1 million souls by 2020. Joel, you have a question.
You know, just in my line of work, done a ton of events as well for other clients.
I just know that people want to see the camera. Our virtual crowd wants to see the camera. I like that shirt, by the way.
Thank you. I'll let my wife know. She bought this for my birthday.
I'm going to talk to your wife.
Yeah.
All right?
All right.
I want one of those. Those are nice.
No, I'm just in my line of work, done a lot of events for clients, and one of the things that a lot of organizations fail to do, all this is great, but what they fail to do is the post-event debriefing and follow-up. Can you talk about what you guys do and things you cover to make next year's event even better?
Yes. All right. I'm going to offend everybody in the room when I say this, probably. I'm serious. In fact, I'm going to offend a person who built their entire business around this. We don't do surveys. We don't do surveys of our events. And you might think, well, you arrogant little jerk, you know? I don't know, maybe someone. Here's why. Surveys create confusion. For me, I'm just going to share, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I don't take surveys. Because Rick says he loves the food and Pat says she didn't like the food. Because Logan says the music was way too loud. Mason says it was too soft. Folks, when you go into people-pleasing mode, you will fracture your whole mindset. You will say, oh my gosh, you know, half the people said they like this, the other half don't. What should we do? I mean, da-da-da-da-da. I ask our staff. They are the sound. They have their ear on the ground. Erica, right? Renee's going to be there. Sarah, Abby. All these people are in the crowd. They have red lanyards. I tell people at the beginning of the conference, unlike most conferences, if your food stinks, don't tell your neighbor. You find somebody in a red lanyard who can do something about it. If it's too hot, don't tell your neighbor. Why? Because when our conferences are so unique, when people walk in the room, the main thing is the main thing. Have you ever gone to an event and like there was a big spot on your table, and like everyone's looking at the spot like, you know, why is this food here still, or what? Like, don't tell your neighbor, tell the person in the red lanyard. So right away we fix things. Right away throughout the conference, we fix things immediately on the spot, because that's the type of person I want to be. Number 2, I don't take surveys. If somebody stunk on stage, I know, they know, and everybody in the room knows. So to hear it again 500 times isn't going to be healthy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't take surveys on that stuff. What we do is we say, if people are going to fly all over the world to get here, if people are going to do all this stuff, we want to have a plan for them when they leave. And so the last session, unlike some conferences where they just end with the last session and it's just a filler or something, we specifically are going to end the last session with a 365-day plan, so that you can take everything you heard from the conference, and every single day for the next year, you have special, equipped, and empowered content and support to help you optimize. So that's really important. The event is, here's a big thing. If you missed anything, write this down. You need a next step for your event. I did not do this for so many years. Like, we just ended Your Secret Name and it's like, oh, you know, closing song, wasn't that good? Oh, it was so good. I'm glad the event happened. And then a month later you're thinking like, where are these people? What's going on in their lives? Are they doing anything with the content? So Joel, we have systems in place. Everybody who comes to our conference gets lifetime access to a private Facebook community that's unlike any other Facebook community. There's no spam, there's no links, there's no photos of the day, quotes of the day, thoughts of the day. This is a tribe on fire. How many of you are part of the tribe? Raise your hand in the room. A ton of you are tribe members. You know, when you get a ticket for a conference, you get lifetime membership in our private VIP community. I'm in there every day. David's in there every day. So that's one thing that kind of shuts everybody up. See, because who does that? Who allows you to come to an event and then supports you for life? I don't know many events like that, right? So that's one thing. The other thing is the plan that we put in place. And again, no surveys. If there's a problem, please tell us. Do I care about people's opinion? Absolutely. But as a leader, you cannot be torn multiple places. You'll get conflicting, contradictory opinions, and you will get hacked. You won't know which way to go. The most important job as a leader is to know where to go with clarity. And Joel, you know, if I was a distant, absent tribe leader who never popped in the Facebook group, I know what the Facebook group needs before they even know. Why? Is it because I'm so good? No. Why? Why do I know what our tribe needs before they even ask? Because I'm in there and I hear the questions. I see the confusion. And I know we got to address this. We got to solve this. We got to have. Everybody wants the benefits of a tribe. How many of you are part of a Facebook group that has a tribe leader? They're never there. They ask a question and it sits there forever. I've seen this. And these same people are like, oh, your tribe's so engaged. They're so active. You post something. They do this. They love each other. How does this happen? Because you set the agenda. If you view your tribe as your cash cow, it will show. It will absolutely show. I never view them as that. I view them as these are our precious clients. They have questions. They need to be served. And we usually respond within hours, always the same day. Okay? Any other questions, comments, thoughts? Erica, anybody from the crowd as well?
A couple, how to earn income. Oh, I'm sorry. What format did you use for the webinar?
Yeah. What format did I use for today's webinar?
I think just in general. Or maybe.
Oh.
Or, yeah, I think
Becky.
it was.
Zoom. Z-O-O-M. I believe it's $15 a month to use Zoom video for an online space, chatting and this type of thing. The webinar service might be a little bit more. 40?
I just bought it for a month because I
Yeah.
don't have time to compare.
Buy it for a month, replace that income.
Webinar is out there.
Yeah. Love it. Very good. And I like that a lot better. Go to webinar, expensive, contracts. I like Zoom, how you can be in and out, try it. That's very smart. Kathy.
What do you, what system do you record your podcast on? What?
Audacity.
Okay.
We have a free thing that is our podcast, how to start a podcast. Would that serve you?
Yes.
Okay. So Erica, if you could write that down for Kathy. Let's give it to everybody who shared today. Kathy, you just created another bonus. So we're going to give everybody who shared today a special ebook that's how to start your own podcast. Here's the warning about podcasts. I love podcasts. Podcasts are digital breadcrumbs that should lead you to the main course. So many times I meet people who say, I'm creating a podcast. Great. What's your next step? Well, I don't have a next step. I'm creating a podcast. So what they've said is they've committed to create 52 products a year, because it's once a week, with zero money on the other side. I'd rather see you create one product for sale and make money. So I'm not against podcasts if you have a strategy in place. I have a podcast. I have for 3 years, and before that I had another one. But there's always a strategy to lead people to clients. Because it's not, ooh, you make money, ooh, you're rich. It's when people become clients, the transformation in their lives increases because they're more vested. Anyone ever download something free and never watch it? Download a free ebook, never read it? Why? Because it was free. When you pay for something, you value it. And so that's why I'm all for a podcast if it has something at the end, and you can do it in a very non-salesy, spammy way. Any last question or two? Here to serve? Logan.
Hey, Logan. So when you're doing a Facebook Live event, how do you analyze the student results?
How do we analyze the results on a Facebook Live?
Yeah.
I know it gives us a ton of data, a ton of insights. David, you want to add more? I mean, we don't sit there and analyze it because what we do is we analyze our ads much more. David, come on up here. Come on up here. Let's give David a hand. All right. So, Facebook Live, I mean, we love it. People shared it. People watched it. But at the end of the day, don't we pay a lot more attention to ads?
Yeah, it's a custom audience builder is what it ends up becoming. We use it to build a custom audience to which we can then build a lookalike audience off of that. That's the main strategy. So it's another digital breadcrumb. We're getting people who are watching it, who are engaging with it, and we know that if people are watching and engaging with it, they at least expressed interest in it, right? They showed some interest. This is something that this was worth their time to watch and follow for at least a few minutes. So then we do that, so then those via Facebook, we can put those into a custom audience, and then after enough data gets compiled with it, you can create a lookalike audience which expands and explodes the audience much larger, and then you can start building those up for target audiences for other things.
So you're not spending money on ads to the world,
Right.
You're spending money on ads to the people who've raised their hands.
Right.
Great feedback. Tonight at 11:59 is the deadline for the 120 off. So again, to me it's not an expense, it's actually an investment that will pay, and if it doesn't, we pay you back. So, use that guarantee if that's what needs to push you over the edge. But we love to have you there. Love to serve you guys. Question from Lisa?
Where's the location?
It's at the Quest Business Center, which if you're local, is 71 and Polaris, right near there. We have all the hotels right around there that have blocked rooms. If you're not from the area, think of Columbus, Ohio. Fly into, they changed their name, not Port Columbus anymore, it's John Glenn Airport. Awesome.
I didn't even know that.
I did. Because I kept telling, people kept saying they're flying into John Glenn. I'm like, I know who John Glenn is, but I'm like, well, where is that? I don't know, is it
That could get
Cincinnati
painful.
or? Yeah.
That would hurt.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else? Questions, comments from the crowd? Anybody?
So if it's the same strategic coach that I know, that's Dan Sullivan.
Dan Sullivan, that was it.
And
Yeah.
Joe Polish does the
Yep.
Genius Network.
Yeah. Exactly. Good dudes. Yeah. Very good. Thank you. Awesome. Anybody else? Okay. Well, yeah, Pat.
Well, you said you give away 70 to 80%.
Yeah.
So when you're doing a podcast, how long do you give away before you give an offer?
So today, every podcast I do has a next step. That next step might not be, here's where to enter your credit card. The next step may be a lead magnet. A lead magnet will help them raise their hand and subscribe, which then leads them into essentially what's called a funnel or a campaign. So for example, last podcast was about ghostwriting, because people have been asking me for years, how did you ghostwrite books when you first started? How do you get high-paying ghostwriting gigs? How do you do all that? So I gave a very good podcast on a ton of value of ghostwriting, and I said, if this is something you're interested in, go to this link. Now that was pretty fast to say, ghostwriting course. Sometimes we make it that quick. Other times it's, if you're an author, hey, watch a free webinar. So it goes from podcast to webinar, or podcast to free ebook download, which leads to webinar. What you want to do is you want to keep giving value. How many people got married the first time they saw the person? Anybody? Don't raise your hand, okay? Usually it doesn't happen that way. Usually it's, what do we call it? Dating, right? So it's the same thing with your online audience. They need to get comfortable. They need to hear things. They need to see things. A lot of times people come in the room for the Igniting Souls Fellowship, and they're like, I don't even know how I got here, but I like what I hear, and I need to respond. I need to go to the conference. I need to join the course. Other times people say, you know what, that's nice, I love it, but I'm going to come a few times, okay? And some people never buy. We don't care, because we can't help them if they don't enroll in a program. I mean, we do care. We wish they would, but we're not going to push people. You're your own boss. You're your own CEO, so you need to make your own decisions. Yeah, Pat.
Okay, so I'm going to present my book at the conference.
Yes.
Will the conference then give me what the next step is?
For your book?
For the process of
Yeah.
the story out.
Yeah. So in Author Academy Elite, there's the How module. In the How module, we have a ton of steps that will create your digital press kit so you can get on podcasts. Yeah. So there's a ton of stuff in the How module, and I know Erica and you have done business and ministry together, and she'll point you where to go. Awesome. David, thanks. I know next time I'll see you, we'll be at the conference. So thanks, everybody. Remember the deadline's tonight, and we'll see you guys later. Take care. Awesome.